y'all. I am continuing the conversation around goal setting this week and achieving those goals, right? So if you missed last week's video, I encourage you to check it out. There's a couple of good little tips in there. This week, I've got a really simple, kind of obvious tip, but it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder for all of us when we have set goals for ourselves and we're working our way toward them, and we get to that moment where we might be feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and maybe even a little defeated. So if that happens to you, I just want you to remember to take it one step at a time. And so this came from a conversation I had with a dear friend of mine. She was sharing her 2022 goals with me, and they are really impressive. I mean, these are big goals. Her first goal is to work on her physical and mental health, just improving her overall health, which is something that we should all aspire to do. She's also working on her CHFM certification, which is really well known and kind of an esteemed for the certification in our industry. And she is continuing her education. Yeah, she's going back to school, getting her master's degree in facilities management and business. So very impressive. Any one of those things would be really impressive, right? But she's gonna do all three in 2022, at least get started with her master's program. But she was like, okay, these are some big goals. I can't do all of them at the same time. But she knew she could focus on one and do it really well. And so what she decided to do is to set interim deadlines for each of her goals. And so in January, she's like, the only thing I'm gonna do is focus on my physical and mental health. And she chose that one specifically because if she could get her energy levels up, if she could boost her confidence, get a regiment going, she knew that would increase her success when it comes time to studying for her certification and going back to school. Smart, right? Yeah, I got smart friends. So she spent all of January just focusing on her eating habits, her exercise, her mental health, getting enough sleep, all of those amazing things that we should always be doing. And you know what? She stuck with it. She saw some pretty immediate and impressive results. It boosted her confidence, and she feels even more ready to take on these other two goals as she continues to work on those health goals for the rest of this year. So that also reminded me of a book that I read last year. So she took 3 goals and kind of set interim deadlines and is focusing on one at a time. Well, you could also do the same thing with a single goal. So in the book Crucial Conversations, which I highly recommend, especially if you're working on improving your interpersonal skills when it comes to those tense, high stakes conversations, we see them at work, we see them at home, we see them pretty much in every aspect of our life. So those crucial conversations, this whole book is dedicated to improving the outcomes of having that dialogue with either one-on-one or with a group of people. And I can't remember how many chapters are in the book, maybe 10, 12 or so chapters, but each chapter is dedicated to a micro or mini skill around having crucial conversations. And at the end of the book, the author recommends to not apply all of those tips to all the conversations that you have moving forward, because I was like, yes, I'm gonna be a crucial conversation ninja. I'm just gonna just dump all of this onto everybody that I ever talk to in the foreseeable future. And hold on, slow down. Focus on one thing at a time. Take one chapter, take that little nugget, that little tip, and focus on that for the next month, or a couple of weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it happens to be. But focus on that and do it really well. And when you feel like you've got a good handle on that, move on to the next one, start folding that one in. And that's just so smart, especially because we do get overwhelmed. We do get stressed out, right? I mean, I do. I get overwhelmed by all the goals that I've set for myself and for my team. And so breaking it down into something that I can focus on, just one thing at a time, really improves our chances of success. And we can celebrate our wins. We can celebrate our wins faster. We can gain that momentum we need to continue to push forward. So again, if you have any tips for goal setting, goal achieving, I would love to hear them as always. So drop them down in the comments below. Thanks, y'all.